Hello and welcome to Uncovering Real Estate, brought to you by the Brampton Real Estate Board. I'm your host, Wasim Parkar. This is the show that addresses all your real estate needs. Folks, one of the most important aspects of the selling and buying process is home inspections. Yet, there are a lot of myths, a lot of unanswered questions about this. To talk about home inspections and also home energy audits in detail, I've got with me Alan Carson, the president and founder of Carson Dunlop. Alan, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Wasim.
So Alan, first of all, before we get into the specifics of home inspections and home audits, tell us a little bit about Carson Dunlop.
Sure. We started in 1978, so we've been around a long time. Our home inspection business is centered in the GTA, so we've been active here for about 37 years. And we actually have four legs on the Carson Dunlop table, if you will. So home inspection is our core business and always has been. We also have a department that does commercial inspections. So we have 15 residential inspectors and 5 commercial inspectors. And then we also provide education and training for home inspectors across Canada and in the United States. And we also have web-based report writing software to help home inspectors write their reports for clients. And we have people who use that again throughout North America.
That's fantastic. So it's a very multifaceted business. And,
it is.
And it incorporates various different things, residential, commercial, the new side of technology that's more and more part of our daily lives. And you've also got a training arm. So it really encompasses many different facets. That's amazing. Alan, one of the interesting things is that the home inspection is one of the most important parts of the process. But funnily enough, a lot of people don't actually know, first of all, the importance of the home inspection, and many of them don't even understand the concept. So what exactly is a home inspection?
That's a great question, and you're absolutely right. People do not have a good understanding, and it makes perfect sense because they've had very little exposure to it. So a home inspection is really a performance review or a performance evaluation of a home to determine its current physical condition. So home inspectors focus on things like the structure, the roof, the plumbing, the heating, the electrical, and so on. We don't fuss about the cosmetics. We don't worry about the value of the home, the real estate side of things. We're kind of nuts and bolts people.
Right.
Does the home work properly? Is it going to keep the occupants warm, safe, and dry?
Whereas in most cases, actually, probably the buyers and sellers are usually focused on the cosmetics, focused on the values, and they completely bypass the nuts and bolts of it, don't they?
That's right, and one of the analogies I use is that when you're going to buy a used automobile, you might take it into your mechanic to have them check it out after you've fallen in love with the car.
Yeah.
And it's very much the same with buying a home. People have to have a home in the right location that suits their needs, that matches their family situation. They fall in love with it, and then the home inspection is the taking it to the mechanic part and making sure that it works fine.
That's a great analogy. Alan, on the flip side, I understand there's also the concept of a seller's inspection. Maybe can you clarify for our viewers what a seller's inspection is?
Absolutely, and right now almost half of our inspections are done for sellers. The heritage was everything started with the buyers getting the home inspection.
Right.
But now that probably 80 or 90% of resale homes have a home inspection anyway, it makes terrific sense for the seller to do the inspection beforehand, make the report available to prospective buyers, and that allows the buyers to make an informed decision about the home, make an offer that's appropriate, and it also speeds up the process because they don't. One of the cruel things about real estate and home inspection is that people tend to come together, negotiate back and forth, settle on the price of the house, and then go figure out what it is they're buying by having the home inspection come in after the fact. And a lot of times people say, oh, I didn't realize the house wouldn't be perfect, and they're disappointed that the home inspection brings up some issues. And every home inspection does. There is no perfect house.
Right.
And so the buyer will often pull back or want to renegotiate again. And that's hard on the buyer, it's hard on the seller, it's hard on the real estate professional. So the seller's inspection makes terrific sense in that it solves a lot of those problems. The cards are on the table, and the seller can put the report out, buyers can make their decision, and over the years we have found that real estate transactions tend to go more smoothly and more quickly with the report provided ahead of time rather than at the tail end.
Interesting. Now forgive my ignorance here, but is it possible for a house in the middle of a transaction to have both a seller's inspection and a buyer's inspection?
Absolutely. A lot of buyers will say, That's great, nice to have that information, but I'd like to have my own inspector come through. And we're a big fan of that. We encourage people to do that. After all, 4 sets of eyes is, or four eyes is better than 2.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the results of the second inspection may be slightly different, and the reason for that is a home inspection is a sampling exercise. And so we look at all the big things, the roof and the structure and so on, but when it comes to looking at things where there are many of them, like many electrical outlets, many individual pieces of siding or many individual bricks, many individual windows, a home inspector will sample and they'll do, for example, they'll operate 1 window per room. A second inspector coming through will do a different sample, and so you get a little bit broader picture of the house, and we think that's a good thing. So not everyone does it, but we encourage that to be done. And when the substantial findings come back and are similar to the original, I think that helps facilitate the comfort level and credibility on both sides and helps to move the transaction through.
All right, Alan, we have about 30 seconds before we go to break, so I just want to quickly touch on this. Now, once we have the inspection report, both the seller and the buyer, is it incumbent on a person to actually take the suggestions of repairs and remunerations that come in a report?
No, and you're thinking of the seller having to fix the things?
Yeah.
No, as a matter of fact, we recommend that that not happen. I'd be happy to discuss that at length, but it really does make more sense for the house to probably change hands as is rather than have the seller fix.
Okay, great. Alan, thanks for introducing the concept of the home inspection for us. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of it after the break, but we've gotten off to a great start. Folks, stay tuned on Uncovering Real Estate. We're going to have a more in-depth conversation with Alan right after the break, and we'll answer plenty of your real estate queries and questions.